Hello, my name is Grace Blacker, and I'm here with Tim O'Brien, interviewing him about his time in the military. And it is December 12th, 2010, and it's around 5:30 p.m. Here we are.
Okay.
So, where did you go to school? What was your education
I
background?
went to the University of California, Berkeley, Cal Berkeley, and I was in the ROTC program. So I had a lot of people challenging me on a daily basis on my beliefs in the military.
Did you, how did you come to join the military?
Well, I always wanted to fly, and I started flying when I was 16, and I decided that I would continue that as I continued my college education. And it was pretty expensive, so I thought, well, the Air Force will be able to pay for my flying experience, so I would keep flying with the military.
Where did you first realize that you wanted to become a pilot and you wanted to fly?
Probably when I was about 10, and my mom would take me down to the airport, and we'd watch planes fly over. So that was where I figured I wanted to fly.
Was she opposed to taking flying lessons at such a young age?
No, she was very supportive, and she's still supportive today, and she still believes, flying is in my blood.
So, you were in college and you joined ROTC.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have any prior work experience before joining the military?
Yeah, I started out working actually at the airport, filling up airplanes with gas so that I could continue to pay for my own flying lessons. So I worked at the airport, and then I was a waiter for a while, and then I was a busboy, and had lots of jobs to pay for my flying time.
Okay. So what made you decide, so what branch of the military did you join, and why did you,
I decided to join the Air Force because they had more airplanes for me to fly, and I decided that it seemed like I would get a lot of hours, and I had met Fern in college, and she supported me, so I think that's pretty important to have your spouse, and then later my children supported me, when I was gone.
What is your role in the military?
Now I work for a branch called Space Command, so we deal with launching satellites, the space shuttle, and different components, but that's my job now. I was involved in logistics before that, and that was what I did during the war.
Yeah, so what kind of stuff did you transport?
Troops, a lot of weapon systems, different helicopters for the Army and the Marine Corps, food for the Afghani people, food for the Iraqis. We also had a mission where we had to drop emergency supplies into the Pakistanis because they had an earthquake when I was out there in 2005. I actually brought you water.
Oh, thank you.
Sure. You too.
Oh, awesome.
There you go. Sure. So that was part of the logistics, was moving anything that was required, basically.
When was your first deployment, and where did you go?
My first deployment was right after 9/11, and I went to a little island in the middle of the Indian Ocean called Diego Garcia. And what was happening was, as we went in to bomb the Taliban, we had to bring bombers into a small island just south, and we would air refuel them, and we would go in, bomb the Taliban, and then come back out into this small island called Diego Garcia. That was my first assignment. And then my next rotation in, I went to Bagram Air Base, and that's where those pictures are from.
So, before 9/11, What did you do?
Before 9/11, gee, that's hard to really even think back, but I dealt with what was called a tanker airlift control element, and I was in an aircraft that refueled other aircraft. So we would go into countries like Malaysia or Thailand, and we would talk to their government, and we'd say we'd like to practice an exercise where we would go to a very remote base, build up the base, and practice air refueling with aircraft, and then leave their country and train their people to do the same thing.
Oh, did the countries welcome that? Or?
Oh yeah, yeah, they were very positive, supportive, and they learned a lot from us. So, and we learned a lot from them culturally too.
So, to go through, so the third deployment?
Let's see. The deployment after Afghanistan was to Iraq, and it was in Baghdad. And then I also was assigned to Qatar, which is a country on the other side of the sea. So,
Teeny tiny country.
what's that?
Teeny
Teeny
tiny
tiny country, yes. Part of the Emirates and their other countries that they divided up the land historically. So Qatar is just one small family, I guess, that owns the country.
So, what was it like going to all these different places?
I found it exciting, energizing, fulfilling, but there were also times that I was lonely, where you miss your family and your children and just the regular routine of life here in America. So, and that was hard, but I think the military tends to keep you busy quite a bit, and on average I'd work 18-hour days, so you don't really have a whole lot of time to relax. I think my wife thinks that's why I've aged quite a bit, but that's just, it's invigorating to meet people from different cultures, and I think our country is very supportive, and I think they found us to be pretty fascinating.
So your wife was telling me that you've been to, I believe, 6 of the 7 continents.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, been around the world quite a bit.
So out of all of those and all the different cultures, which one did you find most fascinating, or were people most interested?
Personally, I liked the culture in Thailand. I found the people very friendly, open. I liked the Pacific Rim countries, and I found Thailand to be interesting, and also the Philippines. But they're very, I think, compassionate people, and I found that they were very receptive and welcoming, and I think we were very grateful to have that type of a warm, as opposed to maybe a suspicious approach to what we were doing.
Were there any countries that were